Hey, Mahman from MemberStack here, and welcome to MemberScript 190. In this video, I'm going to show you how to implement cross-plan member upvoting and downvoting. So if a member is logged in and they're on a certain plan, they are able to either upvote a certain member and that vote count will instantly reflect, or they can downvote a certain member and that count will also instantly reflect. Members can only upvote or downvote a member once. All right, let me show you how to set that up inside of Webflow. And you're also going to need a make account in order to make this work. Okay, so in Webflow, you are going to need to add MemberScript 190 and it should look like this. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link to that code should be in the description below. And if you're watching this on the MemberStack site, then you should have already seen the code. You can either paste this in your page settings or site-wide, depending on your specific use case. In MemberStack, you are also going to need to create two plans for users to vote on each other. So call that plan A and plan B. And then you're going to add the attribute for plan A over here. So you're going to replace this one. And then you're going to add the attribute for plan B and replace it over here. Okay, so now let me show you how to set this up. And you're going to need to set it up with the Webflow CMS as well as make for automations. So within the Webflow CMS, you are going to have a members collection. And within the members collection, you're going to have the following fields. You're going to make sure that you have a member ID field, which is going to be their MemberStack member ID, and then a member email. So all of this information is pulled from MemberStack, and you can set up an automation so that every time a user creates an account on your platform, a Webflow CMS item is automatically created with their information, as well as their plan ID. So as you can see, this user is currently on a certain plan over here. And then the next user is on a different plan over here. These three are completely important. So your member ID, your plan ID, as well as the CMS ID of that item. And then you're also going to have another field for the vote count. Okay, so on the page itself now, you are going to need to add a few attributes in order to make this work. Firstly, you are going to have a collection list, which is going to be bound to your members collection. And then you're going to have, within that collection list, you're going to have a div for the user item. And that item is going to have the attribute of data MS code user profile, and then data target plan ID, and it's going to be bound to that user's plan ID. And then another attribute for data target member ID, and that's going to be bound to that member's ID. The rest of the information, like their profile image, you can bind that to their profile image. And then you are also going to bind their name to their name. And then you're going to have a form over here, which will have a make webhook URL in order to send the vote counts, as well as to remove a vote when a user has downvoted another user. Okay, so you're going to replace that webhook over here. And then for your form, you are going to have a code embed with the following hidden fields. So the target CMS ID is going to be bound to that user's CMS ID, and then a few attributes. So for data MS code voter ID, voter member ID, so for the person that is voting, and then data MS code target member ID, and then another attribute for data MS code vote action, and data MS code vote timestamp to know when exactly a vote was initiated, and then what kind of vote action it is, either it's an upvote or a downvote. Okay. Within that form, you are going to have all of your vote buttons. And then you are going to drag in a link. And that first link over here, which is your upvote button, is going to have the attribute of data MS code upvote button. Then you can add an icon for the upvote, and then the upvote count is going to have the attribute of data MS code vote count, and that's going to be bound to the CMS with the vote count over here. You're going to do the same for the downvote button, and that's going to have an attribute of data MS code downvote button, but you aren't going to have a count for the downvote button. Instead, you're just going to have an icon for downvotes. Okay, so now let me show you how to set this automation up inside of Make. Inside Make, you are going to start off your automation with a custom webhook so that when that form is submitted, all of that information will come to this webhook. And then you're going to get the item by referencing that target CMS ID. And then we're going to do two things. Firstly, if it's an upvote, referencing the action, if it's an upvote, we're going to update that user inside of the Webflow CMS with a count of 1. And then we're going to publish the item and then update the same vote count inside of MemberStack as well. And then we're going to redirect that user to a success page. So in my case, I'm just redirecting them back to the profile page with all of my users. But wherever you want to direct your users again after they've upvoted or downvoted someone, you change this URL out. Okay, and then the next thing you're going to do is for downvoting, which is similar to upvoting, but you're going to filter out the action for downvotes, and then you're going to update the members Webflow CMS item with a count of -1. So essentially taking away a count. And then you're going to publish the item and then update MemberStack as well. So with the counts from the Webflow CMS, and then redirect a user again when they have downvoted someone. I'm going to save this automation and then set it to immediately as data arrives. Okay. Another thing to note is that every time a user upvotes someone, that information is stored in their local storage in order to stop a user from upvoting another user multiple times. So that will be stored over here, as well as for downvotes, that is also stored in the local storage over here in order to stop a user from continuously downvoting another user and triggering your make automation over and over again. So users can only upvote and downvote each other once. Okay. Once you've set all of that up, you now have a way to upvote and downvote users depending on a certain plan that they're on. If you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out in the Slack 2.0 channel. Bye.